Liam chilling in his MTV crib. Hey. For the first time, sitting on the sofa in the living room. I mean, that's pretty good, really, that you managed to get a podcast getting your podcast set up in your living room, because, you know, a lot of people, I wouldn't be able to get one in my living room most of the time. So, but to be honest, even if the living room was available, I'd probably be too lazy to bloody do it. But yeah. I prefer just having it all in my bedroom, and I don't really have a table. I can attach the Donna D70 mic stand and the mic itself too. So,
well, like I say, you've got like a good setup, really, because, like, you know, you've got the space, and I suppose your Wi-Fi is better in your room than it is in mine. So it's easier for you. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Can we get the dog on the camera in a living room tour then?
Well, probably not a living room tour. No, she's just asleep at the moment. So I'll just
no, fair enough. Maybe she wakes up, get her on the podcast. I remember you got her on like ages ago, and I was saying, "Oh, is she fed up or something?" Because she kept going. But that's obviously just the noise that she makes when she's breathing. How old is she, out of interest? Is she like 8 or something, or 7?
9.
Ah, okay, cool. Does she bark at everyone when is she like a little yapping dog, or is she quite chill? Or
no, not yappy. I mean, she barks sometimes, like at maybe like people, like, I don't know, if it's like they look weird, or or I don't know, or maybe if I don't know, perhaps if like they're wearing like a, I don't know, weird hat, or maybe certain dogs who are like bigger than her, but
she has that as the shorty syndrome.
She can do at times, yes, which is can be embarrassing, but she's not too bad. She's better than some dogs, because of course you get these programs on telly, don't you? These dog ones and
the crazy ones,
and there's some dogs which are like way worse than us. So I guess we're lucky in that sense, you could say.
Well, at least she's only barking at people who look a bit mad, like wearing stupid hats, or just look a bit weird. George rolls up.
Yeah.
Hello, Liam.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. That'd be
an interesting meeting. What's her name, or do you not want to say on the podcast? Or wait, did she just fart?
No, just yawned. Just made a weird sort of noise when she yawned, which sometimes happens. Yeah. No, no, she's called Elsa. Might as well just say.
Yeah, I think you actually told me that before, but I just couldn't remember. So Elsa meeting George. Eat, 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 eat. Get the fuck off me property, you buck-tooth twat!
Oh god. That's funny. Yeah, that'd be a funny scenario. Oh, god.
Liam, you got some weird fucking friends. You got that bloke with a football moon-shaped head. You got one mate who looks like bloody Peter Griffin. You got another who sounds like Alfred on helium, and you got one who sounds like he's freezing to death all the time, going only joking, lads. Apart from about my moon-shaped head and Georgie's the rest of it's a joke. So.
God.
Anyway, now let's get into it then. The Bad Batch review, Bad Batch Season 2. So straight away we start off with a 2-parter. I was kind of worried because it set a bad tone for the start of it, in my opinion, because I was thinking to myself, shit, it's just going to be more Sid missions, more Sid saying, so I need you all to get me some more spices from Jabba the Hutt's belly flab in the middle of Mandalore. But obviously, thankfully, it wasn't that. It was actually some of Count Dooku's goodies that the Empire were moving off of one of the planets. But yeah, it's cool. The very beginning's really cool because we have the Bad Batch. I think, they're robbing some stuff, aren't they? And all these little crabs are after them. And we see that Omega's had some training, tech showing us some stuff to like studies of Imperial ships. And she rolls up with a bow and arrow and is shooting the crabs, which is cool. But yeah, the heist itself is pretty interesting. We see the damage the Empire's done because the city's destroyed on this one planet. They rob all the goodies, but obviously they Tech and Omega get stuck on the crate itself, and I think Echo gets stuck there as well, and that adds a bit of tension, which is cool. I like one of the questions Omega poses as well, because she's like, well, aren't we just doing what Count Dooku's doing? Aren't we robbing things as well? And then Tech, I think it's Tech or Echo, I don't know who says it, but they're like, well, it's just about what we do with it. It's how they decide to spend the goodies. So they are sort of doing the same thing. They are stealing shit that Count Dooku. Well, they're stealing shit that Count Dooku stole, that the Empire are trying to steal, that they're now stealing for Sid. But I guess it's about what they do with it that defines them. Because the Empire is just going to get more money. Dooku's just going to want more money. The city probably would have spent it on resources for themselves. But the Bad Batch, hopefully they would have done something different with it if they'd actually managed to get it.
I mean, I'm sort of like going off on a bit of a tangent here, but like, of course, you mentioned Dooku and what he would do with the, do with the goods and just making more money. Just makes me think like how Dooku sort of became like that. Really, it's interesting, really, but. Yeah, because he used to be, a good person, really. But
yeah, at first he just wanted change, and he was a bit hesitant to kill Lady Yoda. I can't remember her name now.
Yaddle,
isn't it? Yaddle.
Yeah, Yaddle. Yeah.
He kills her, and then I think gradually he just becomes more and more and more and more corrupt and more pissed off with everything that's happening. Thing is, if the Jedi had actually been asked to send people to kick Dooku's ass, they would have, Qui-Gon would have most probably been alive, but because the Jedi were like, oh, we don't get involved, we'll just send yous. That's why Qui-Gon died. So that's probably why Dooku was so pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But yeah, what else is there to say? I mean, it's a good episode. I like how the Bad Batch failed because it shows that they're not indestructible. They're not just scoring at every single heist and doing well. So yeah, it shows they're not unbeatable. But I do find it odd that they're still only. I mean, I think we mentioned this on a podcast that we got scheduled for the future, which I'm not going to say what it is, but because it was recorded before this podcast. But it's weird how they set them all to stun. They're killing all the clone. Well, they're stunning the clone troopers for like an hour or two. But the thing is, you mentioned a good point how once the clone troopers get up, they can just easily wrap the Bad Batch out. So it's not tying up loose ends at all. I know they're trying to be nice and probably make them look like the heroes to younger viewers, but it's not practical because all the clones will know who they are and be able to give the Empire bits of information on the Bad Batch.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is as well, apart from that, is with them not killing them, unless the Empire kill the clones or kill the stormtroopers who just been knocked unconscious for sort of being incompetent. I mean, the problem as well is that they're still around as well. It doesn't sort of thin their ranks, does it? It doesn't reduce their numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't give
the
rebellion as much of a fighting chance, does it? The rebellion will still have the same amount of people to kill, so it's sort of like the Empire's just growing bigger and bigger and stronger, and they're just stunning people, and then what if they have like stun-proof vests on or something, then the Bad Batch could get killed. I know that's not a thing, but like they could easily just adapt to that. While a blaster shot, they're not really going to be able to adapt as well too. I like how they met some old geezer as well, who was I think there was other survivors, but he was the only one we spoke. Well, who you get to speak with the Bad Batch got to speak with, and who was on screen, and he was a pretty cool, interesting dude. Yeah, felt bad for him that his city got destroyed.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, but yeah, good episode overall. So that was episode 1 and 2. They're pretty much the same quality of goodness. Episode 3. Bellissimo!
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Bellissimo! Hey!
That's right, yeah, I'm remembering what it is now, yes. It's the Cody and Crosshair one, isn't it?
Yeah. We start off with Rampart being like, so you've how long were you left there for, Crosshair, on Camino? And then he's like, 32 rotations. And you came back. I am a soldier of the Empire. Your loyalty is very admirable. I'll see you later. No, but yeah,
this took a turn.
You can come back later.
I was going to say that as well. Like when you said about Crosshair being stuck on Camino for, was it 42 rotations? Was it 32? I thought it'd be funny if he would have said 42 years, 32 years. I thought for a moment he might have said that for some reason, but
yeah, that would have been balanced. But yeah, I mean, it is a bit daft that he's come back. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, yeah. Unless he just wants to live off Camino fish and salty water, then yeah. But the Empire left him behind, and also he was left there for 32 rotations. I mean, if he'd just gone with a Bad Batch, I mean, anyone with fucking common sense would have just gone with them, because your Empire's left you behind, and the Bad Batch basically saved his life. I know he saved Omega to be even, but it makes Crosshair look like an idiot, but it just shows how... This is why I think he was so loyal to the Empire, right? I didn't actually say this on the podcast we recorded before and have scheduled for the future, right? I think he's so, because I wanted to say it for this, right? I think he's so damn loyal because he's the ultimate clone trooper. Because you see all these clones who are like, what are we going to do now that we're retired? Or that what's going to happen to us, you know? He's the ultimate one who thinks, shit, what is going to happen to me? I need to be a part of this Empire until I get fucking shot or until I'm too old to do this shit. You know, he needs to be a part of an establishment. The Republic beat the CIS and the Republic have become the Empire. They're the controlling top force. That's the grand organized army that he needs to be a part of, and he needs to be a good soldier and follow the orders. I think so. He's the ultimate clone who just sort of, he needs this, if that makes sense. I think that's why he's so stupidly loyal to them.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, with the episode, it's very welcome. Well, we see what happens at the start. And the Separatist lady's like, well, Count Dooku was right. And then all the droids point their guns at a Imperial officer, which is cool. It's quite cool that we're seeing like these Mark 1 stormtroopers and battle droids in front of each other, and Imperial officer being told to fuck off by battle droids. I know it's like not too long after the Republic became the Empire, but that's besides the point. It's still interesting to see these two worlds that you rarely see cross. I know we had that weird mission in Battlefront 2 where you play stormtroopers fighting clone troopers and you play as stormtroopers fighting battle droids, but we don't like see it's interesting, but that's not confirmed canon. Well, this, I'm guessing the Bad Batch Star Wars Disney is canon, so that's definitely something very interesting. And obviously Cody returns, which is great because we don't know anything that happened to him after bloody Revenge of the Sith, so that's pretty cool that he comes back and he's like, well, it was a bit brutal what we did to the Jedi, wasn't it? And Crosshair's like, well, yeah. And then he's like, well, good soldiers follow orders, I guess. So there you
go. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to actually just get Cody back as well, and just get some more sort of content on him, because we didn't really, I don't think there's much on him at all in Legends. And yeah, it's interesting that he's a bit sort of conflicted, I think, about what's happened, and you know, and I guess, you know, when he gave the order to fire on Obi-Wan, you know, he could have possibly maybe been responsible for killing him, but had it succeeded. But yeah, it's just interesting, really, and hopefully we see him again.
Definitely. So, but yeah, we only get him for one episode in the Bad Batch, which is weird. And I'm guessing he's not in Rebels, otherwise you would have bought him up.
He's not in Rebels. What other show did you mention? Sorry, it froze for me.
Oh, I just said I'm guessing he's not in Rebels, otherwise you would have bought him up and said yes, he's in Rebels at some point.
No, like I say, no, he's not.
damn shame. We have to get some sort of explanation on him. He can't just be forever like lost in the Star Wars canon. We have to know what happened to him. I mean, I heard some rumor that he gets. Well, we know that Kamino's destroyed now, so that's probably not what happened. But I swear, I watched this rumor video that he was just on Kamino training stormtroopers, and he just got old and depressed. But that obviously didn't happen as they destroyed Kamino. So. I can't remember what video it was. I don't know if they were talking about some Star Wars book or something. I might try and find it. But yeah, anyway, back to the episode. The action's great. Straight away, the droids shoot that shuttle down, and a lot of the clones are a bit fucked up and injured. Crosshair's like, I'll pick them off. Trust me. And he's showing his brilliant precision, which is what we like to see. There's some brilliant fun action taking down all the droids. The battle with the commandos is pretty damn cool as well. The commando droids.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
Crosshair using his brilliant aim and precision. Then they manage to get the Imperial bloke. And then he's like, he throws his toys out the pram and he's like, shoot her! Shoot her! Like, have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I've seen all of it. I've seen a good chunk of it because it's it's been on TV a lot over the years and whatever.
Oh, cool! I just wondered if you got that reference or not. I was worried because
you might. Is it Richard Attenborough? Is it, or was that?
No, it's not him. It's the other English bloke in it who's like, "You clever girl," and then he gets ripped to shreds by a raptor. Tall fella with a shotgun. At first, I thought
remember who that is, but
yeah, at first I thought it was Richard Attenborough, but it wasn't because I watched the scene. Well, Gampat reminded me who it actually was when he was on the because I did this daft video where I went, I should play this character. Shoot her! Shoot her!
Yeah. Then again, I think from what I can remember about Richard Attenborough's character, though, I don't know whether he would say that though. Would he?
Yeah, he wouldn't. He's not usually. Even when he's being even when his morals are heavily questioned in the second one, and in the first one, he's very calm and collected, and he doesn't like getting his hands dirty with the dinosaurs as well. So, yeah, really, really weird. Funny though, because I was going on to Gampat. I was saying to him like about how I'm not trying to suck up to myself, but I like to say I'm a good voice actor, but it's so difficult to actually act. Like you're usually not good at both. You're either good at one or the other. Like I'm not, I'm all right at live action acting from like some of the films that we've done, but voice acting I'm just so much better, and it's vice versa. I know this theatre dude on Discord, and I got him to voice act for me, and he wasn't very. I thought he'd be a lot better because he was so good at acting on stage, but he wasn't that good, and it shows that. But the thing is, if I went on stage and had to sing and dance, well, I wouldn't do that. But if I had to act on stage, I wouldn't mind singing and dancing on the stage, like doing if Prince was still alive and it was like a cool concert or whatever, and it was like funky dancing, but like going Figaro, bellissimo, bellissimo, and then like bloody having to like go, I cannot believe this. I'm just it's not my street. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not some sort of like I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, that's so feminine and wimpy. How can you act on stage like that? It's not proper acting. It's so girly. I'm not that sort of person. I respect people wanting to do that. I just think I wouldn't want to do that sort of acting. If I was ever going to act, that would be like one of the last things I'd want to do. Because it just seems weird on stage in front of people being like, hello, goodbye. And it just it's like, what the hell's going on?
That would be so interesting now, seeing you do that.
Well, no, but the thing is, I do loads of daft stuff on the podcast for a laugh. Like just or the amount of no context stuff. I've made Patrick Bateman look normal, to be honest. Like I do, and like if you just cut all the no context bits up, and I'll look like the maddest man ever. But I think the line of my madness, like it has to be in my mind when I do or say something silly, it has to be something that subverts expectations. And me on stage going bellissimo, bellissimo, it's like it is subverting. It's subverting everyone else's expectations, but for me, I just find it really odd. Unless it was some weird comedy, then I wouldn't mind doing it. But if it's meant to be a serious performance and I'm going, I don't know, help me out, it's just like I don't want to do that. It's just too weird for me. I think it would be more interesting to see you doing it, Liam. Yisss Yisss Nuw, Yisss Nuw, Yisss Nuw, Yisss Nuw. I need a reboot now. You know, if you had to do that, would you actually put effort in, or would you just talk in your normal voice and go, well, I am running into the bush, and all that, or whatever lines you have to say?
What do you mean? What, like?
So, you know, if you had to perform on stage, would you actually sing and act like you're interested in it, or would you just go, no, yes, I shall shoot you? Like, how would you act in it? Would you act like really proper and like professional, or would you just act like yourself to get through it and not play a character?
I mean, I'd rather not sing, to be fair.
So you just completely fuck up the performance. You just be like, and I'm running away, and I'm running away. Goodbye. I don't know. And everyone else is singing, and you're just talking normally. Classic.
Yeah.
But anyway, back onto the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
The bloke throws his toys out the pram, and then he's like, shoot her now! And then Cody's like, come on, we should just take her prisoner. What the fuck's your problem? And then Crosshair just shoots her. And I'm like, damn, what an evil prick. What an absolute pillar. But then in the next time we see Crosshair, I think it was the scene after Cody's been decommissioned. Well, they've said he's not coming on any more missions for now. And it's like, damn, just because Cody didn't want to do one thing, even though that Admiral still got his way, the Admiral was like, oh, that one clone was disobedient. And then, you know, Cody's been fucked over.
I know, yeah. Yeah. But
let's move on. Oh, have you got anything you want to say about the episode? Because it was quite a grand one.
Yeah, it was. No, I just think it was a top-notch episode. You know, from the animation to the music, the characters. You know, following Crosshair again, and Cody, and I think when you're following Crosshair, you just know you're in for a dark, and sort of captivating episode. So
definitely,
yeah, like I say, it was top notch all around. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Fair dues. So we go on to episode 4. Very, very below average episode for me. I mean, I found it odd because like the Bad Batch and the Clone Troopers, they don't fit a storyline where you race around in a hover car, you know. So that was a bit weird. Sid's robot should have been the antagonist because he was just an annoying pillar kid. He wasn't even funny annoying. He was just like annoying. I just wanted him to get killed off very quick. You have that tall gangster geezer, and he's like, "So Sid, where's my money?" And then Sid's like, "I don't have it." And then Meg is like, "We'll put Sid up for auction. We'll put Sid up for auction, and we'll race." Then the only good thing about the episode is Tech's character development because he's like, I'll race. So he steps up to the challenge, risks it all, and still comes out on top and wins, which is cool. But then the thing is, I know that the show is more so targeted at kids, but I hate how blatantly obvious they try and make Sid the villain because the gangster bloke's like, look out for Sid. She's bad. She'll throw you under the bus, bro. And it's like, okay, so it's blatantly obvious she's just going to turn on them. And it's weird that in the first season, they say about how the Jedi trusted her, but it just shows how shit the Jedi's judgment is.
Maybe, yeah. But, yeah, it was kind of like... I mean, looking back at it, yeah, it's kind of like an average episode, really. Like, there's some of the racing stuff was kind of fun, and there's some fun, unique music in there for a change. But yeah, I mean, all you really get from it is, yeah, apart from that enjoyment from the race and Tech, you know, getting his moment to shine, all you get really otherwise in terms of like sort of the overall story is, like you just said, about the big like brute talking about Sid and that she's not to be trusted, and sort of I guess foreshadowing what's to come in a way. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then episode 5, probably the weakest episode of the whole season. Sod me. It was just a drag to get through. It was just so odd because we get this new pirate character and she's all right and all, but they just go on a mission to a temple and it's just like a really, really poor Indiana Jones parody. It just makes, with the Bad Batch falling for all the traps, it just makes them look like mugs. It just makes them look like absolute buffoons and idiots. And then they find the bloody artifact, and also the shenanigans are boring anyway, leading up to the artifact. Then they find the artifact, and it just turns on this giant monster. But there's zero stakes because there's no civilization on this planet. The only stakes are that the Bad Batch is marooned on this big robot monster forever. That's it. And that's because their ship would get destroyed. But I'm guessing they could call for help if they had to. And it was really easy to defeat the monster because all that had to do was put the. I think they had to destroy the artifact or put it back where they found it. So it's just pretty bloody dead arse, really. And there's no reason for us to care about the artifact, because what would it go to, really? Because the pirate lady, she doesn't need money. She just keeps the artifacts for the sake of it. So that's pointless. It's not like they're in a museum. They're on Pabu. No one's going to see them apart from the Pabu people. So like, what's the point, you know? So it doesn't matter if she gets it or not. It's not an artifact for Sid. So like, what's the point? And it's so anticlimactic because it's the big monster's so easy to destroy and there's no risks because there's no civilization nearby. So bad episode there.
Yeah. It's. I was going to say it's probably the weakest. It's probably the weakest episode of the series and maybe the show.
Yeah.
There is another one a bit later on which might be sort of tied with it or slightly better. I don't know, but
I think I know what you're on about. Yeah, we'll get to that one though.
Yeah, but like I say, it was just really just no need for it. There was just no need for it, and it wasn't even good filler, because you can have good filler.
Exactly. I prefer a Sid heist any day to that shite.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's like I say, not much happened. There was nothing to really interest you and to sort of keep you on the edge of your seat, and just I feel like from what I remember as well, not even the music wasn't quite so like sort of like I don't know, it wasn't quite so good to me, but it's just a disappointing episode. Yeah.
Definitely. Episode 6. To be honest, right, I haven't really got much to say about it. I just thought it was a good, interesting episode. Cool how there's a Wookiee as a Jedi. I guess it just shows how hard life is for a Jedi in these times because they're getting hunted and killed just for being Jedi. They might not even disagree with the Empire, but they're just going to get hunted and killed anyway because, if you're a Jedi, you're opposing the Sith, which is, that's just how it is. So it's a shame for that Wookiee. Going back to Kashyyyk was cool. I guess the scene where they're praying with the trees is all right, or just touching the trees and asking the trees for help. I guess those big weird monsters were there, and it shows if you don't pose a threat to them, they won't threaten you. But then all the bounty hunters, they pose a threat, so they get curled up and lifted into the sky and killed by them. So, well, eaten.
Yeah. It was a decent episode. Yeah, it was better. But I guess like you say, it was interesting to go back to Kashyyyk and see the Wookiees again. And is it all right if I spoil something, like a slight spoiler for the Clone Wars?
Yeah, go for it. I'm not that, but it's an anthology series, so I'm not that bothered about spoilers.
Well, it's not. It's just all it is that Wookiee Jedi you're on about, that kid or that youngling was first in the Clone Wars.
Oh, nice.
So
what was he, like a really little kid then, or something?
Well, I don't know whether he was or whether he was like a young teenager or not, or something like that. I don't know, but so another link there,
Damn cool.
They sort of like to tie these shows in with each other, these animated shows. So
yeah, it shows that they've watched the material. But I suppose, of course, whoever's working on it, of course, they've watched it because it's exactly the same style as Clone Wars, the animation is. So of course, they've watched it. Episode 7, really cool and interesting with the clones having to be retired, and they're like, well, what's our purpose now? We can't just stick our feet up for every soldiers. That's our destiny. That's what we were made to do. That's the point of our existence. But you've got that Senator Tucci or whatever her name is. I think that's her name.
I think it's Tucci. I think.
So Senator Tucci, she's fighting for the clone rights, which is pretty cool. But obviously, there's other clones asking questions and sticking their noses in places Rampart doesn't want them to. So they get killed by someone, and we're like, "Who's this assassin?" And Tucci's, bodyguard gets killed, and then she's potentially going to get killed, and we're like, "Shit, what's going to happen, man? What the hell's going to happen?" And then they end up in like this warehouse area, and you think, "Bloody hell, who's this bloke in the hood?" But it's actually Rex, and then he stuns the assassin, which is cool. So that was a cool reveal. The whole episode was just interesting. It's cool to get a nice conspiracy story in Star Wars. And I like how a lot of the characters we follow, just in the Bad Batch as a whole, we don't know their outcomes. We don't know their endings. So, they could die or they could make it through. We don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what's good again. Yeah, it's a bunch of characters to, I guess, get attached to and to support and follow. But yeah, you don't exactly know what their fates are, for sure. So, what?
No, it's just right. You're talking and the dog's going.
I know. Yeah,
snoring. What a legend.
I know.
Rex showing it was pretty cool as well. But I feel like the clone assailant, I don't know, it sort of went nowhere because he was sort of like, well, fuck you! And just went, and like died because of the, I don't know what they've got in their mouth, some sort of wire or small gum shield or some of that they can bite on to kill themselves, which the issue is, like, I thought they should have kept him around longer, to be honest, because it's not like there's some big conspiracy theory of who's behind it. We all know it's Rampart and him sending people in. I know it's the Empire anyway, but like we know it's specifically Rampart, so it would have been cool if he had actually survived. And I don't know if there was a bit of a scene where he talked to Rex or something instead of just having some blank slate assassin who just kills himself.
Maybe, yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's always good to go back to Coruscant and the start of a solid 2-part arc on Coruscant,
definitely.
And just again, just it's just it's just fascinating to just go back to the clone storyline and and the fact that they're all sort of being decommissioned and how they feel about that, and then of course there's the stuff going on in the Senate as well, and how they feel about it, and I guess just the fact that Chuchi's willing to help them, and I guess she has. I mean, she was in the Clone Wars as well, so.
Oh, was she? Bloody hell.
Yeah, so I think she's I think she has worked with them and fought with them.
No, so I guess that's why she cares so much then, fair play.
Yeah.
Well, the next episode is the second part to it where Rex is like, lads, I need you on a mission. And they're like, all right then. So they roll up to Coruscant, and it's quite a cool, fast-paced episode because the Kaminoan, she's like, the one Kaminoan senator, she's like, well, no matter what I say, they're not going to believe you. And then they go on a really fast-paced mission where they're going into Rampart's ship, and then they're up against the wall because as soon as they access the files, it triggers a security breach because that's how they get into the files. They have to turn the whole system on. So they've got the clones coming after them, and it's a race against time because they've got Chuchi's got to present the evidence for everyone to see. So yeah, I mean, all I can really say about this episode: great action, great story, great writing, great fun. The tension's really good, and then Palpatine makes a surprise appearance, and he rolls up and he's like, "Will, do it, power!" And then goes back down, and then everyone forgets about all the problems. No, what actually happens is he says, "I am the Senate," and then spins around in the little thing in the little pod. But no, what actually happens is he says, "Well, I can't believe the clones followed Rampart's orders, so blindly without question, well, we're going to have to decommission them and bring in the Imperial Stormtrooper, which we knew that was going to happen, but it's interesting to see how the transition happens from clone to Stormtrooper. Because as a kid, I thought to myself, all right, what's probably happened is the Stormtroopers are clones, and then they thought we might as well just have regular people as Stormtroopers. But then I found out that that isn't what happened, because the clones and the Stormtroopers are different. But then if you look at Star Wars Battlefront 2, what they say, what that storyline indicates is that a lot of the clone troopers became Stormtroopers, but then, the clone you're playing as became a Stormtrooper, but then some of them didn't. They rebelled against them because the chip storyline wasn't invented back then. But yeah, great battle against time, good writing. It's cool that, as I say, that bridge is formed between the prequels and the original trilogy, that we find out how Stormtroopers come about. It's cool to see Palpatine manipulating everything and getting everything into his favour. And Echo leaving the Bad Batch, he's like, this is where I'm needed with Rex. You know, I'm like, damn, bloody hell, you can't leave. The Bad Batch, we need you there. What's going on? But obviously, it's left. So, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it made for a sad moment, yeah.
You weren't sad, Liam. You just kept a straight face. For any sad moment in Star Wars, this is your face.
Yes, because apparently I'm a robot. Yes, according to James. James seems to.
No, this is what happened. Even though you've watched them loads and loads before, and the only time the reaction changes is well, actually, no, I'm not going to make that joke. I was going to make.
Yes, digging yourself a hole here.
I was going to make an Obi-Wan joke, but I thought, no, I've already made 2 jokes. I'll leave it there. I'm
leaving.
I've had my fun. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
But yeah, just with the Senate though. Yeah, like I said, that was interesting. And Rampart getting well, he sort of got his karma, and
he's just such a pompous twat. He's like, don't! They're pointing at him. They're pointing, and he's like, stay back. He's like, what are you going to do? They're armed troopers. Oh! And he's like, oh no! And it's just so funny to see some pompous twat who's gone round being a complete arrogant prick. And I know it might be a bit premature because we've still got like how many episodes to go? Was there 7 more episodes after that? But the thing is, he was such a big villain throughout the first season and the half of the second season. It's a fun, satisfying way to see his character get arrested.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's good. It's good that he got his karma, and because because he was written to just be an arsehole, wasn't he? So yeah. But yeah, that like I say, Palpatine coming up as well was just he just had a sort of like a really sort of sinister and menacing appearance, and then Palpatine being Palpatine, he's managed to manipulate the situation sort of to his favor, and as he does, even though I think they might have thought they were getting somewhere with the situation, and finding the evidence to suggest that Rampart is guilty. Palpatine just completely, he's always a few steps ahead. So
as they said, yeah.
I know. It's just he can foresee everything, and so really awkward when Palpatine's around. But again, another and just the stuff that we like to see and hear, like the soundtrack and the story, and not much more to say there, but yeah.
So episode 9, they're going to mine some Epsium for Sid. They're 1 man down, so even Hunter says straight away. Well, Tech says straight away, we're 1 man down, for God's sake. And You know, it just seems like things are a bit more difficult for the Bad Batch with being one man down with Echo gone. So they're mining the Epsium, which is dangerous to have. But then their ship gets stolen by some random geezer. And then there's sort of a bit of back and forth and bickering between Tech and Wrecker. And then they're annoyed at each other. There ends up being a stampede, so they lose a lot of the Epsium anyway. They're stranded in some mines. They eventually get out. There's some good moments where, Tech and Echo have some heart-to-heart conversations. It seems that Tech and Omega have some heart-to-heart conversations, and it seems that Omega feels like she's the only one who's affected. But the thing is, they're soldiers, they're hard men at the end of the day, while she's just a kid who's like, feels like her family's leaving, which is a shame. But the clones just have to be they're just hardened soldiers, aren't they? So she feels like she's the only one who's affected, and Tech's sort of like, well, I do miss him, and there's some good heart-to-hearts. But then at the end of the episode, Sid's a complete cowbag, and she's like, well, I can't get anyone out to you, so fuck you. And then just cuts them off, and it's like, bloody hell, what a cowbag. What an absolute cowbag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good, fun episode. The Bad Batch's backs were really up against the wall, so that was interesting.
I was just going to say, I don't know whether I can hear it now, but I was able to just hear like a sort of like buzzing in the background for a while. I don't know whether you've been able to hear it.
What, has it gone now?
I'm not sure. It might have, yeah, because it sounded like it gone. Yeah, I don't think I can really hear it now. No.
Yeah, I can't hear it on my end, but yeah, let me know when that shit happens. Oh yeah, this is. I forgot this was a V-Tron StreamYard. I have the power.
Oh, no.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, little man?
What have you done?
Oh shit! Come on.
Oh god.
What are you gonna do?
1 minute.
What are you gonna do?
No,
yeah, we have to do every podcast like this from now on. I don't care. Yes, I have.
James, the dictator.
Oh yeah, this is how we.
Oh god, James has become a dictator.
You're just a little ahead, and I'm like, so Liam, what have you got to say?
I imagine that as well, though. Like, imagine if like our voices were actually made to be high pitched as well,
yeah.
like chipmunks or whatever.
If I could do that, I would do that for a bit just to fuck around, but I wouldn't do it for too long.
No, I think thank God that's not a feature then. And your voice would just be like really deep.
Yeah. So this is the King in General, and I can't believe what's going on. Liam, you stupid. Yes, kick. No, what are you doing? Guys, I'm late to the podcast. Dude, shut the fuck up. Hello, lads.
It'd be funny to hear Aaron and Ben speak, like especially Ben, as his voice is like a bit. So he's got like the deepest voice out of us. So
he hasn't got the deepest voice. Come on, get off. Well, I guess he has. I guess he's.
I don't know. I feel like.
Hello. Yeah, okay. I guess he's got a way deeper voice then. Fuck's sake.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like his voice is a bit deeper than yours. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say Ben's got the deepest. Then probably mine, then yours, then Aaron's, then because of George's, it sounds a bit deep, but then it sounds like a bit high. It's a bit of a mix, really.
Yeah, I think George's voice is the highest, or however you want to say it. Yeah. But
thing is, though, Ben doesn't sound like he's from the West Midlands. He sounds like he's from somewhere else. That's the weird thing.
Yeah. Well, it's probably. I don't know. It might just be the way he's just spoke as he's grew up, or
yeah, because it's like there's people in.
I don't know.
Well, there's people. Well, there's obviously people we know who have American accents who are from the West Midlands somehow. Chords! Sorry. And I mean, George doesn't have an English accent. It's sort of like a Dalek getting electrocuted. And as one of my American friends said to you, that you sound like an aristocrat, and you was like, I wish. Thank you. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but
you have got a well-spoken voice. So I wouldn't say it's posh. Posh is sort of like, oh, tally ho, chips and bacon, thank you. But yours is just like, ease, you know.
Yeah, like I say, yeah, like I say, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's just how I've sort of spoke, I guess, yeah, as I've grew up, and yeah, and just with that slight like country twang, I guess.
Yeah, I've got a bit of that. Yeah, I've got a bit of that twang.
So, yeah.
Stop doing it! I have the power.
Can you make me big?
I did actually try to do that earlier, but the best I could. Well, I can only make us the same size. Sadly, I think you have to be in charge of the stream. I would have made you big and gone. I'm in charge now, and I'm like, no. And then I've made the comeback. Then you're like, new. Then I'm like, I have the power. New. I would have probably done that, but sadly I can't make. I wish you could make other people big, but sadly you can't.
Yeah. That would just make for some quality content, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been pure bant. StreamYard need to work on that, to be honest.
Yeah, StreamYard, take note. Exactly. Should be watching. Yeah.
But
anyway.
Back to the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, then let's just move on to the episode after. I mean, they go after that teenage kid, and then you got this bloke who, you know, walks around like he's got rheumatoid arthritis or some other problem, and he's just a bit like, you're the top earner, and it's like, why are these people taking orders from this grouchy twat? And then he's just eating. He's got so much food in his kitchen. No wonder he's got physical problems. He's eating so much. His belly's probably bloated. You know, like, surely some of that food's gone off. Like, how does he have so much food just at the ready for him? It's ridiculous. I know it's meant to over-exaggerate how greedy he is, but yeah, he pits everyone against each other. Episode's quite boring in general. None of the characters are that interesting. There's a bit of tension on the bridge, but then they try and save the evil mafia guy, and it's like, why would you reach your hand out to him? Then the mafia guy is like, you don't cross me, kid, and then he just gets knocked off anyway and killed. So it's like weird, but very below average episode. Wasn't that interested.
Yeah, so that was the episode I was referring to earlier. Yeah,
really?
When I was saying about like could be tied with the racing one or what, I don't know.
I thought you were on about Pabu.
Oh. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I know not much happens in that one at all, but I did at least enjoy it personally more than those. Well, I enjoyed it more than this one. But whereas at least I got a bit of enjoyment, I suppose, out of the racing one. But
yeah.
But yeah, this one, it was just a pretty disappointing episode, and again, it was just pretty sort of generic and I don't know. It felt like, again, it was there just as content, just to like fill an episode, just to make it 16 episodes. I know it was continuing the arc that was started in the previous episode, but it was just wasn't a good way to continue the arc, really. You know.
Yeah.
It just didn't make things interesting, and I don't know. At the end of the day, just should have been completely different. Yeah.
For sure. So, the next one is It's the electric monster one. I found it interesting. I thought it was cool how Republic Commando got like brutalized and absolutely mauled by one at the start. That seemed a bit uncharacteristic for the Bad Batch as a show, but I'm glad they went that route because you're not really gonna when you've got a big monster on the loose, they're not going to tickle a clone commando to death. They're going to bloody rip it to shreds. So
I was just going to say, sorry, I think I can hear that buzzing again. Like it's all quiet in the background, but I feel I can hear it.
Why is it better?
It's louder now.
What, the buzzies?
It was louder for a sec, but now I think it's gone or it's much quieter.
What's the buzz like now?
A bit louder now, a bit louder.
What about now?
I can still kind of hear it. It's still like at the same sort of level. Yeah, see, look, now it's quite. Oh no, wait.
Are you sure? Hold on. No. I'm gonna get the stream up, and I'm gonna get the stream up and hear this buzz to see what it sounds like.
It started like might have been like 20 minutes in or something. It's been going for a bit. Like it's not like really distracting, but just something I could hear in the background quietly. But I don't know. I think you were moving something earlier, or I don't know whether you were connecting something or disconnecting something, and then it started.
Oh. Oh, maybe. Probably the bloody charger.
That could be it. I think it's gone. Hey.
Fuck's sake. No, but the thing is, usually chargers make your laptop better. Like when I've had my Windows. Oh, for fuck's sake, that's so annoying that well, is the buzz bad or is it just like a minor thing?
It was kind of minor, but I think it's gone now. It sounds like it's gone.
No, it's just so annoying because with Windows, like when you plug in a bloody when you plug your charger in, it makes the laptop perform better, the streams go better, everything's better about it. But with Mac, for some reason, plugging a charger in, you get a buzzing noise, and it's like just a piss take, man. Just a piss take. Well, with a PC, sorry, not Windows. You know what I mean? With a PC, yeah, it's just better.
Is that charger you use for your Mac? Is that the one that came with it, or?
Yeah, I've had it for like 6 years, nearly.
Weird it makes a buzzing noise. I don't know.
It is what it is, I guess. But yeah. So that I can't really remember a lot about the episode apart from there's a lot of tension, a lot of running around. The Empire were trying to like mess with what they shouldn't have been messing with that monster, which is bad.
Was this the? Yeah, this was the Zillow Beast one, wasn't it?
That's right. The monster got bigger with the more electricity absorbed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that was another. Because like the Zillow Beast was first in the Clone Wars as well. I don't know. So I think this was cloned because they said about cloning it in the Clone Wars. So
yeah,
and it got bigger. Yeah, as it like sort of consumed more electricity, didn't it? Yeah. So
it was in the Clone Wars as well.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But I don't know whether that was what the Zillow Beast was meant to be like in the Clone Wars, but in the Clone Wars, it was already just massive. You know, it was already a beast, and that was it. It just stayed the same. It looked the same throughout the arc, but yeah, again, a pretty solid episode. I can remember bits of it, but yeah, I can't remember some of it, but yeah, it was it was pretty enjoyable, yeah, and quite sort of atmospheric and sort of horror-esque at the start, and so pretty sort of relatively compelling stuff, yeah.
Fair. So now on to can't believe I forgot what the next episode is. Oh shit! It's the arguably one of the best episodes in the show. It's the episode where Crosshair gets sent on an assignment, and it's to that snowy planet. With that arrogant twat lieutenant. We see more clones being taken away and having to be forced into retirement, which is quite a shame. And Crosshair sent on a mission by this twatty lieutenant, the most pompous prick ever. And straight away, he's just having a go at the clones, and he's like, well, haven't you done anything about the insurgents? It's like, well, we've been here for loads of rotations and people have died and you haven't sent us any help or support. And he's like, well, it's your fault, not the Empire's fault. And I just think, man, I just want this bloke to get shot. And then basically they're sent on a mission to recover stuff from insurgents. And all it ends up being is the stuff that replaces them. You know, the Mark 1 Stormtrooper armor, which is quite annoying. They're that bothered about armor, it's ridiculous. But obviously, there's some funny dialogue, like when Crosshair's like, well, he's already dead. Don't want to have to carry him, waste of time. And then Crosshair steps on that mine, and he's like, oh, fuck. And then that guy's like, well, I haven't disarmed a mine for ages. And he's sort of fucking with Crosshair a bit. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to step all the way back to see if this works. You know, and then Crosshair steps off the mine, and it works. So, when they get the equipment off the insurgents back, the armor, an avalanche happens and the bloke moves Crosshair out of the way, saves Crosshair's life, and then Crosshair tries to carry the bloke all the way back to the base, and then the lieutenant's like, well, we're not wasting resources on him, you're all expendable. And then I'm like, God, I hope Crosshair can't suck up to the Empire after this, after they've let that clone die, for God's sake. And then he's like, Lieutenant. And then he goes, Pew! And then the lieutenant dies. And I thought, bravo, what a face turn. That's how
I know he finally comes to his senses, and kills that one at least.
Yeah. And then he gets kidnapped and sent to that prison.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I was kind of surprised that, I don't know, I think it happened straight away in the episode. I'm not, like, at the end of the episode, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, yeah, he's getting, they tell him to, like, comply with them, and then they inject him. And that's it.
Yeah, that's right at the end, yeah. But, yeah, that was definitely one of the best episodes of the show. Again, just everything was just top tier again, you know. I think just the story following Crosshair again. Of course, it had to be a Crosshair episode again. And following him and that clone, and that was just really interesting. And I think seeing sort of how, I guess, the mission as well and the Empire sort of finally made Crosshair have a change of heart. And again, I just loved the soundtrack again, and the animation excelled. Like in some of the episodes, it really did, and it just really showed. You know, some of these episodes really show it off, like how the animation has evolved since like the Clone Wars, and even like some of the shot choices as well, and the cinematography, and yeah, I mean. And just and the mission itself, and and then of course it's satisfying when that Imperial officer does get what he deserves, and I mean it's sad that that clone ends up dying, but yeah, it just makes for a really really compelling episode, and one I really enjoyed. Yeah, it's just, you know, this is, you know, it's just some of the best Star Wars content you can get, really. Yeah,
definitely.
Just wish we could have more and more of it.
Yeah, hopefully there is more of that to come. And now Pabu, I thought it was very below average, man. It just sort of, I was just sort of fed up in it. It was just sort of like, Pabu's a good player. It seems like some of that should have been an epilogue episode for the Bad Batch if they all survived it and made it out alive. Because it's just sort of like they're just pottering around and farting around, and then that that tall geezer. The only bit I liked was when he's like that really friendly bald geezer. It's like, oh, how's it going? How's it going? And shaking hands, and then Wrecker's like, put her there. That was really
yeah.
yeah.
Good old Wrecker. Yeah.
That must have come as a bit of a shock to the bald dude having a big bloke like that grabbing his hand really quick. That would have because Wrecker's got stupid strength, hasn't he? So not good.
Yeah.
But still a proper firm. That's what. At least you're not going to get a flimsy handshake, a flimsy wet fish handshake with Wrecker. You're going to get your hand is going to end up being flimsy and wipey afterwards. But yeah. But yeah, all it really seems like is the pirate lady saying, "Oh, well, you can all settle down here." Omega's absolutely loving it. She's got a good friend there, and the rest of the Bad Batch are just chilling out.
Until that tsunami.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. No, I guess that was an okay sequence, but I just thought it was really below average overall. To be honest, I just thought it was.
I can understand that a lot of people really didn't like the episode. To be fair, and they probably thought it was like the worst one, but yeah, like I say, it was sort of, I thought at first I sort of liked how they were talking about, sort of like, I think sort of talking about settling there and I don't know, and just seeing things be peaceful and and again the soundtrack at times and everything seemed to be going well, but then of course something had to happen on this peaceful planet. I mean, it wasn't the Empire, but it was a tsunami, and that bit was like, that bit was sort of like, that bit was okay, but like it was sort of, I don't know, I felt like it was decent at first, and then it sort of, I guess, it wasn't so good after, and so it was sort of like, I guess I still found it to be an okay episode, but yeah, just not much happened at all in it, really.
Yeah, I get you. So the next one, episode 14. So we see Crosshair in that clone facility, and then we got a new bad guy with that American accent, because most Imperials have British accent, English accents, which is annoying. Well, he's not annoying, I suppose. It's just because the English accent sounds very menacing.
Now, I think it's meant to be because I think George Lucas was basing it off like kind of
the
like
the British Empire.
Yeah, that's right. And then the Republic was like the Rebels were sort of like the American I don't know what to call it. I don't know whether it's like sort of like to do with like the American Revolution or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. So it might have been or something. Yeah, sort of like the Americans who were like sort of fighting against them, I guess. That's what.
That's just what Lucas loves to do. He loves to rub it in. He loves to rub 1776 in, doesn't he? Just because he's just salty because a bloke like me can write a far better script than he can. Like he can write a better story than me, but I think my scripts are far better than I love you and do it. I think my scripts are trend. I mean the dialogue in the Doctor Who, some of the lines in that short film. I'm not doing a barnacle and going off over my head here. But I feel like a lot of my writing is far superior to any. I think my directing would be better than George Lucas's as well. I know you might think I'm on another planet, but I could definitely make something. If someone gave me a script and money, I could make something better than Howard the Duck and the Phantom Menace. I guarantee. Probably not A New Hope, but again, he had loads of help. Actually, no, I'm off mode.
No, I was going to say, like, I don't think he wrote. As far as I know, I don't think he wrote like Howard the Duck, did he? I think he was just a producer or something, or an executive.
No, sorry, he directed it, didn't he?
No, he didn't direct it, I don't think.
Are you sure?
I guess we can have a look, can't we?
No, but I'm just fucking around. George Lucas is obviously a better director, but because he's been in the film industry and actually done it. But it's to deal with the stress of being a director, it's like bloody hell. It's probably difficult.
Yeah, look, he
didn't
direct it. No.
I've looked up. George Lucas direct Howard the Cook. Oh, it was by William Cook, or whatever his name is, however you pronounce that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's it. So you're one of the producers, yes. Yeah. He didn't write it either.
I've looked at George Lucas directed movies. So we've got.
Yeah, he hasn't done loads, but yeah.
Yeah, A New Hope. I wonder if American Graffiti was any good. Red Tails.
Apparently it is. Apparently. Because that was his first film, wasn't it? I think.
He hasn't really done that much, though, when you think about it.
He hasn't, no.
Some weird, obscure films. Right, I'm looking through a few of them. I know this is completely off track, but yeah, I mean, American Graffiti. Oh, it's given a really good rating. Well, it's given 96% and 7.4. 777,000, and it made 140 million box office. Bloody hell, it must have been fuck. Okay, fair play to Lucas then. Bloody hell, fair play. He's done well there. Goodness. There ain't many films that are made on that budget that make that much at box office. I think Rocky didn't cost that much to make, but apart from Rocky, I don't think any of the films have done that well on such a low budget. Hold on. I'm just going to check how much Rocky made. Oh yeah, Rocky made far more, but that's besides the point. Lucas did well with that one. I'll give him the credit for that, for American Graffiti.
I was going to say, actually, I don't think that was his first like feature film, like, because he did THX 1138 2 years before.
Is that where the THX thing comes from on the DVDs, where it goes?
I think it probably is, yeah, because I think there's a bunch of references to that title as well in Star Wars as well, I believe. Yeah, because this one's rated pretty well too.
Have you watched a lot of his films then?
No, like I say, I haven't watched those two. Yeah, like I say, I've watched the Star Wars films, but
well, it's given 6.7 and 86%, so it might be good.
Yeah, I don't know, but
see, even your dog's annoyed. Even she's like, "Rrr!" You know, she just went, "Rrr!" She wasn't happy with that, Liam.
But aside from that, though, a lot of the other stuff, he's either just been a producer or he's been a writer. Like he's been a writer for like the Indiana Jones films, hasn't he? And
oh, fair play if he wrote them. Then that's really good. I thought he just was like writing the story for them, then someone else wrote the script or something.
That might be that might be the case. To be fair, that might be. But I know that like he's worked with Spielberg on those films, and they've got a good, relationship. I'm pretty sure they've been friends, a long time. So
yeah,
they've helped each other out, and yeah.
You know what? Honestly, I think I've been a bit too harsh on George Lucas because it looks like after A New Hope, he didn't direct anything. Well, okay, I'm trying to think if he. It looks like he didn't direct much between A New Hope and A Phantom Menace. And you know what? If you have like a 22-year break from directing, you're going to come back a bit rusty. So I know obviously you love the prequels, but yeah, I mean, well, in your mind, he's probably done really well because to have a 22-year break off and come back and make what you consider good films, that is quite the achievement. Because having a 22-year break from anything, how are you going to come back anywhere near as good? I know he's been on film sets and wrote stories and stuff and produced stuff, but it doesn't mean you're going to be like the, it doesn't mean you're going to be anywhere near as good as you were before. There's going to be a lot of film rust, ring rust.
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, back to this Crosshair Jazz though. Really, really interesting. Whenever he's in an episode, it just seems to be really good. You want to see what happens with him now that he's turned face and he's kidnapped. Obviously, he doesn't give up anything about the Bad Batch, which is pretty wholesome and cool to see because he's probably thinking, damn, they were right all along. So it's quite cool. It's cool how conflicted he is. Well, how conflicted he was, and then he realizes right from wrong in the previous episode. And yeah, obviously he's given a chance to join the Empire again and get freedom, but he says no. Well, he doesn't say anything, which is basically a no, which is pretty cool to see. Then he gets injected with that stuff, and he starts spazzing out and stuff, and it's like bloody hell. And he still doesn't give them up. He nearly escapes as well. And I like how he doesn't kill that scientist lady, but he shoots down all the other guards, and he warns the Bad Batch. But then they're spraying with a load of gas. And the interesting thing is, that bloke, he's immune to that gas, so that's quite a big advantage for him in season 3 when they go and rescue Crosshair.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a scientist, I think, isn't he?
I thought he was like an Imperial bloke.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like he might be a scientist, but you know, he's pretty clever. So, well, here we go. James getting power hungry again.
Pac-Man. I'm going to do these more often, just out of nowhere, just for the laughs. Oh.
No, but it'd definitely be funny to see you do it on other podcasts there with other people.
Yeah, just see. The next one, do Professor Goat just randomly go like this. He's making a point like, "Oh yes, well, in this episode of Star Trek, I must. What have you done?"
Yeah. Or even like with George.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, I was just thinking. You're not eating your way out of this one, George. No. But yeah, this is this feature's gone to my head already. I've become next level power hungry now. It's all gone to me. My ego's taken back over. I've become insane with I just become an ego-driven maniac. I've become a monster now with all this power.
Yeah. Everyone better watch themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, have you got anything you want to say about episode 14? It feels like 14, 15, 16 just merge into one big episode.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I thought 14 was good. It wasn't one of my favourites, but it was still good and interesting, to follow Crosshair again. And so can't really think of much more to say about that one.
Fair enough. I do want to do a job slobs and a Yisss Yisss Nuw at the end. So
okay. All
right. I've got a good Yisss Yisss Nuw for you today. So that should be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, episode 15. So they go after Crosshair to rescue him, and it's such a ball ache to get to him. They've got to go through this base where all the Imperials are having a meeting, and it's like, damn, they're going through this much to rescue a bloke who pretty much stabbed them in the back, and they're taking a shot at the dark with him, really, because he could in their minds, he could turn on them. They don't know about this revelation he's experienced and the things that have made him change. So they're taking a big gamble. They infiltrate the base. Echo's back with them because I think that isn't episode 15. I think episode 15 is when him and Echo and Rex at the start go on that get those codes off that ship, isn't it? Or is that episode 14?
I'm trying to remember now. I'm trying to remember that. I don't know if I can remember that. Was that the...
Anywho,
I'm not sure, to be fair.
Yeah, anywho, that sequence was pretty cool, whichever episode it was in. Just weird how they're still sparing the clone troopers' lives, even though the Empire blew up that ship anyway. So, but yeah, they infiltrate the base. We see a young Saul Guerrera, and I mean, I think he's an interesting character. I know he just dies off in Rogue One, but I think overall he's an interesting character because he shows the flaws in the rebellion. That he's sort of more. He's obviously more of a good guy than a bad guy, but he's sort of like he's a bit more leaning towards terrorism side rather than like the hero side, if that makes sense. Because and you just is all around how he acts. It's sort of like all he really wants to do is just bomb the Empire and just sort of stick it to him a few times and then get killed. That's sort of what he seems like, in my opinion. Because they even try and tell him, like, look, you're only going to kill a few Imperial officers and then they're just going to be replaced instantly. He's like, oh, well, I don't care. I'm just going to do them in. And he doesn't even do them in because they all survive the attack anyway. All that happens is that, well, it makes it harder for the Bad Batch, really. And obviously it causes the death of, well, we'll move on to the next episode now. 15 was great, but causes the death of Tech pretty much, which is really sad. His death was amazing though, man. He went out like a champion, being attached to that rope, and he's like, Wrecker's like, we're not going without you on board. And then he says, you're going to have to do this without me. And then he says, when have we ever followed orders? And he shoots it, and then he's like, no screaming, no panic. He just falls and sees that his brothers are able to get away. And then Omega's like, you've got to go back, because she doesn't understand the concept of falling 200 feet for some reason.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say though, I mean, it would be good if he is dead and actually stays dead. But of course, there's all these theories going around that that he's still alive, or like that it looks like he's got thrusters on his back, so he could. And then there was the fact that scientist had Tech's goggles and threw them in front of Hunter, so people think that he might be, they might be experimenting on him now. I don't know. So
I've seen some theories that because Echo got blown up, so the Tech could just be.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, if they're in the writing room and they're really struggling, because we can't have it. We can't have the Bad Batch. Like, fair play, kill one of them off, but we can't have the Bad Batch as Echo running off, and then it's just the Hunter and Wrecker show, for God's sake. I know Crosshair's coming back, but we can't have the Hunter and Wrecker show. It's just going to look stupid. It would just be ridiculous. What the hell's going on? It would just be so weird.
I suppose Omega as well, I guess.
Yeah, but Wrecker's just the comic relief. You can't have a show with just Hunter and Omega as the only serious characters, really, and Crosshair sitting there. So basically, what they could do is they could bring Tech back in like AI form in someone's helmet, maybe because Tech was so smart he made an AI of himself or something in the ship. I don't know. They should only do that if they're really struggling to write the story with Echo, Wrecker, Hunter, and Crosshair after the rescue. If they're struggling without Tech, then bring him back. But hopefully they can make do with the four Bad Batch and, well, the four of them and Omega, hopefully, when they rescue Crosshair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that you could argue there are sort of like clues, like I say, with the goggles that he's not dead and all this and that, and but then it did kind of seem like in the episode, it kind of seemed like that he's dead, and that it had a sort of like finality about it, but
yeah, it did. It wasn't like he just fell off without saying anything. It was done in slow motion, and he had so much development this season. It seems like it's sensible for him to sort of get the hump.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because everyone noticed that he was having more screen time and all character development this season, this series, and I think everyone seemed to think that some people thought that he's gonna die this series, but especially as he was sort of like forming a bond with Omega, and so I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I kind of, because I don't like how like with certain things in Star Wars, like that like they might kill off a character and they come back, and
Palpatine, Chewbacca.
Well, Palpatine was just
that was
when
ridiculous.
You look back at it now and everything, it was ridiculous, and how it was handled and all that. Chewie. Well, that was just that was a stupid cop out, wasn't it? Really.
Star Killer.
What are you about? You mean like Star Killer? What you mean like halfway through the Force Unleashed, or do you mean?
No, I mean at the end. I know he technically died, and then Vader's like, "I salvaged your body," but like, I'm on about the end when he gets blown up. They bring him back in the second one. I get that Vader's trying to clone him, but that was just bizarre. That was just why would you clone? Like, surely, why didn't Vader just team up with him and kill the Emperor? I know it wouldn't have made sense for the actual like shit that happened in Star Wars, but like, why would you bring him back? They should have just ended the Force Unleashed with Force Unleashed 1, or found a new Jedi for Force Unleashed 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they could have, yeah. But yeah, I guess with Starkiller, yeah, he was being cloned, wasn't he? Although we don't know for sure whether the Starkiller we were following was actually, a clone or the original somehow. I don't know.
No. The
But we'll
original
never
got
know.
blown.
So.
No. The original got blown up and died. I know that.
Well, we know that. We know that. But there's like like Sam Witwer and played Starkiller, and there's been stuff like, and people have asked about it, and he knows the answer, but he's never going to say. And
well,
I'm
going with the logical thing. I think he got blown up by the Emperor. They said he was dead. Yeah, that's it really. He's dead, and the other version of him was a clone with his memories, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you would have thought so, really, especially considering how it happened at the end of the first game. So
yeah, Zach said Eddie. Are you on about Callum's nephew Eddie? I'm guessing. Anyway, yeah, so we're on episode 16 now. Sid rats them out. What an utter cowbag. Again, what a complete disgusting fucking slag idiot.
I guess it was going to happen, wasn't it? Unfortunately.
Yes.
But yeah, she's just that was very
Straight after Tech died, she's like, "Oh, I liked gargoyles, but sorry, I've fucked you over." I wish bloody Record just socked her in the face, to be honest. Very disgusting of her. She's like, "You guys are bringing too much heat on me." Okay, the heat my arse. She accepted a case full of money off them. I mean, remember, and he's like, thank you for your work, and she just takes the case off him. Pathetic. Omega gets kidnapped, and she sees all the clones being experimented on, and then that new scientist guy, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna stay here now," and that woman's like, "Well, I don't see why you don't trust me. You've never met me before, and I'm your sister." And that's the end, which bit of a weird way to end it, but big cliffhanger with them trying to rescue Crosshair and get Omega back as well. So
yeah. It was. I think it was theorized before that female scientist was possibly a clone, especially the way she looked and how she sounded. Because she had sort of had the same accent as like the clones and Omega. And yeah, I guess it ended up being true. But yeah, like I said, that last episode was that's pretty good too. And like I said to you before, like I thought the scene on like the carriages or the whatever they were was pretty intense, and that was pretty well done, and sort of how it all happened leading up to Tech's death as well, which was sad, and sort of how I felt after, and well, I was gonna say though, Echo was with them though, wasn't he, in that last episode? So, and didn't he escape that? Didn't he escape Old Mantel with Hunter?
Yeah.
Did they still take Wrecker?
Yeah, he's there as well. Yeah, they all escaped.
Oh, he escaped as well. But they've got Omega, and they've still got Crosshair, and maybe they've got Tech. I don't know. So I don't know. Does that mean Echo's going to be back with them for a bit now? Then I don't know.
I hope so. It can't just be the Hunter and Wrecker show for the first 2 or 3 episodes. That'd be shit. That'd just be dreadful.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I guess it make sense for him to maybe come back for a bit at least. Yeah.
Maybe Rex could come in to help rescue them. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he might do. He might come back again. Yeah, might do. But
hopefully, there's like a bit of a clone up rising in season 3 as well.
Yeah, it might be. Looks like we're. Yeah, I think some stuff we might expect to happen this series is going to happen in series 3. I think it should be an eventful series.
Hopefully.
But yeah, it was pretty good finale though, and I think I don't know. I think Star Wars Theory said this, but I can kind of understand where he's coming from because he said about how it sort of felt like this series finale kind of felt like a mid-series event or whatever, like a mid-series finale. It kind of did. You kind of expect that to happen, and then like afterwards, we'd have like the stuff we're going to get in series 3, and that might be the end of the series. But then TV shows do this, don't they? They have series that end on cliffhangers, and and that sort of don't resolve things, and then that's left to the following series to do. So, I think it sort of makes you want to sort of watch series 3, I guess, or watch it more. It might keep more people hooked, perhaps. So yes, I think James getting a bit power hungry again. Yep. Too much for his own good. It's just such a shame though that you can't make other people big.
I wish, genuinely, I would for the laughs, genuinely, but it's just annoying. It's really annoying because it'd just be a funny back and forth impression I can do of other people and whatever. Like if it was George, I could do I'm in charge now. Eat. No, I'm eat. Come on, George. Eat. Oh,
If we could do it though as well, that'd be funny. That'd just be chaos.
Well, no, it wouldn't be good because you could because the point of me being in charge of the StreamYard shit is that I can just do what I want as I'm the host of the stream.
Yeah.
But if you ever do another West Hope hour, you can do this while I'm making a point if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up the review part, then we'll move on to the segments. I'll just briefly say I'm glad it wasn't all Sid missions. I'm glad that it feels like the plot was going somewhere instead of just Order 66, then a million Sid missions, then a few big missions here and there. This season, it felt like the story was going places. Tech Steph was, an interesting part of the show. It was cool how we focused on other parts of Order 66 and the transition from clone to stormtrooper. Crosshair's face turn was cool. I guess things I didn't like about it. Just those naff episodes, really, that I mentioned earlier that were below average. I guess it would be cool if every episode was the quality of the Solitary Clone and the other Crosshair episode and the 2-part finale and what have you, and the conspiracy theory 2-part as well. I wish they were all that quality, but I guess that's all I can say, really. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Really, really great stuff.
Yeah. I'd probably give it that 2, I think. Yeah. I thought it was a pretty consistent overall, mostly. It's just those few episodes, really, wasn't it? Like it was episode 4. and then the one. So episode 4, the racing one, and then what was after the racing one? Was that a better
Temple one?
Yeah, so definitely that one. And then
it was the Wookiee one, the Jedi one.
That one was all right. Yeah, so it was the racing one. I'm just trying to think of the worst one. So the racing one, the temple one, the part 2 of that arc with the greedy person. Was there another one? I suppose, yeah. Like I suppose some people would say Pabu. Well, I think a lot of people would, but I thought it was better than. Well, at least better than the temple and the the one with the greedy guy. So
what are you going to say, greedy gobbers then? Wait, technically it's the greedy gob.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. But all the but the mostly good episodes, or at least decent ones, yeah, and some top tier Star Wars content in it too. Some of the best stuff. So good series overall. you know.
Nice. Well, let's move on to Yisss Yisss Nuw. Yisss Nuw. So my Yisss Nuw for you today is how much would you have to be paid to be Jabba the Hutt slave for a week? And I mean like what Leia did, what Leia had to, and the Twi'lek woman. Now on a condition he won't kill you or throw you to the to that big monster below or to the Sarlacc pit. So you're not going to die. You just have to suffer the humiliation of lying on Jabba in a romantic way and dancing for him in a bikini. So now this is what I think your price is going to be. Now this is what we'll start off at.
Okay,
minus 20 quid.
Minus 20. Wow.
So, yeah, you basically paid to be Jabba's slave.
Wow.
Okay. 50, 100 quid.
Nah.
200 quid.
Nah.
250.
No.
700.
No.
720.
No.
800. 900. £923 and 50 pence.
No.
2 grand.
No.
3 grand.
No.
10 grand.
No.
20 grand.
No.
Come on, 20 grand. You wouldn't do that for a week for 20 grand. God. 50 grand. 100 grand.
I don't know. We get in there. I think
250 grand. You don't have to shag Jabba. It's just lying on him a bit. And
I know that. Yeah.
If it was that, I would have started off with like minus 500.
Well. You have dipped to a new low. You really. How shameful! How shameful!
Oh, come on! Wouldn't that just be Sammy the cat? I don't know who that is. So, for fuck's sakes! Oh dear, that's worse than Jabba the Hutt. Bloody hell!
Yes, so probably
250 grand then.
Yeah, and for the well, oh no, actually no.
No, I was joking. That shagging him.
I know, I know you were.
Boring.
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
shit question. That would completely ruin the Yisss Yisss Nuw. If every question was just like, would you shag Jabba the Hutt? How much money would you shag Zero the Hutt? How much money? Would you shag an Ewok? How much money? Would you shag a Wookiee? It'd be kind of funny, but it just takes the creativity out of it. So, Ian the Hutt. Moss Isley is literally Southend. What are you on about? What's Southend? Where is Southend? Oh, wait, I hope I'm not doxing anyone. Oh, Southend on Sea. I don't know anything about Southend on Sea, mate. Oh, it's in Essex. I guess maybe it would be a bit like Moss Isley then. Oh, what a fucking bastard. Poopy the dog. Poppy the dog. That's horrible. What a fucking disgusting bastard he is for overfeeding it, if that's true. Horrible. So your price is 250 grand to be Jabba's slave for a week.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you want to give me what group of dogs or wolves is she with then? But yeah, so but do you want to give me a mad one or do you want to move on to job slobs?
I can't think of one, no.
Let's move on to job slobs then. So the job this week, would you rather be a camera cleaner for the NHS or Oh shit! What was the other bloody question? I had a good one. I had a really good one, but I've lost it. I'm Amazon. Oh, no, Amazon warehouse. So which one would you rather do? A camera cleaner for the NHS is basically like cameras that go anywhere, down people's mouth, at people's arses,
Yeah, I thought so.
But people's noses, maybe sometimes, I don't know. In people's ears.
Probably Amazon warehouse. I know that, of course, there's been some bad stuff that's happened, and but I just think that I'd probably sort of have more tasks and to do, and probably maybe a bit more variety, and I guess more fast paced. So, I'd probably rather do that, even though it's probably really, really stressful, I imagine. But,
well, you become Jeff Bezos within about 2 days, so I'm not surprised you'd do that. You'd be in charge of the whole gaff and just be like this at the table.
Oh, thank you.
No celebration, no, because you knew you'd be able to.
You see, you'd somewhat redeemed yourself, but now you've just.
What do you mean?
Well, you just gave me. Well, you sort of gave me a compliment, but.
No, I'm saying you like this. You like this because you knew you'd do it. I'm not saying.
Oh, okay, I thought you were gonna, stop.
No, I wasn't gonna say that you're a robot for the 20th time. I was saying like, you like this because you like. Yes, I knew I'd take over Amazon within 2 days.
Okay, all right.
That's what I meant. So if I was going to say you were like there's no celebration because you're a robot, then I would have said that. I would have gone like, I need an update. New. That's what I would have done. So
okay, I didn't know that for sure. Didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm always subversive with my jokes. I'm not going to make the same joke 50 times a stream unless it's appropriate. So
okay, all right.
So that I pick the poo cleaning off the camera any day, just because well, I know a bit about the job. I knew some bloke who worked there who didn't mind doing it, as long as you're hygienic. And I'm guessing I'd like to think they give you some glasses to put on to protect your eyes in case anything flings off. Maybe a mask to protect your mouth, and your nose in case anything flings off. Some gloves. I think jobs are good and really. I get it can get a bit boring, but it's just I don't know how it is in other hospitals, but the one I worked at when I saw them doing it, it was just a little room. I guess it can get a bit repetitive. So you make a good point about the Amazon tasks, but I'd rather do that. You get more days off working for the NHS, public pension. Amazon just seems like a bag of arse, and also someone was found dead there once and just left lying there for ages on the CCTV, and that was a UK warehouse as well. So,
crazy. It's yeah.
Well, but to be fair, the original other option I had was really interesting, but I just couldn't remember it at all. Well. I guess we can nicely wrap that one up there then. Any closing statement? Oh, wait. Sorry, there's one thing I wanted to bring up. Watching Is the Force Unleashed is nostalgic. One of the most trippiest things ever was Starkiller was like, what is my bidding, my master? I'll do it for you, my master. And I'm thinking, when the fuck did he speak the Queen's English? And then the next scene when he meets Juno Eclipse, he's like, I don't want to have another pilot killed. And I'm thinking, going on? I thought to myself, am I dreaming? I thought, what the hell is this? That's just one of the oddest weird voice acting transitions ever.
Yeah, it's like that in the 360 version as well. I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's sort of kind of how he just speaks to Vader, and I don't know. It's like that. It's weird, but I don't know. It's just some sort of
does he always speak like that?
I don't know, but yeah, interesting. But
does he always in other scenes? Does he speak like that to Vader?
Kind of. Not so not sort of not so much putting on a British accent like the Queen's English, like you say, but
that was just bizarre. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever watched because I've never seen any media or show where someone in a serious manner, talks in a Queen's English accent and then goes straight to American. I was just like, what the hell is going on? It's nothing. It doesn't ruin it. It just made me think, am I dreaming, or have I drunk like 2 or 3 glasses of wine? What the hell's happened?
Yeah, yeah. No, that game. No, the yeah, that version of the game's got some funny stuff, but yeah, like I said, that stuff's just part of the other versions as well. So,
well, I was going to tell anyone who watches this, there's a session on Saturday. Me, Liam, and the Azalator, hopefully. Liam, will you be having any small glasses of wine?
Well, I don't know about wine, but maybe a cider, or maybe even like a cocktail. You know, you could. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. You could show me how it's done drinking a few woo woos.
Yeah,
What's that? Or I don't. What? I don't know what you're on about. No, I don't want that. That'd be too chaotic. Because the issue is, like, if let's say I had Liam and Aaron on and George, or Liam and Ben, and I just started saying, "Oh, the latest thing on UFC, look at this." They're not going to know what to say, or if it's something that completely uninteresting, they're not going to have anything to say. So I wouldn't want to just talk about anything and everything. No, I wouldn't want an open podcast, I'm afraid. No, thank you. But yeah, we'll end that one there then. Okay. But yeah, any closing statements, Liam?
Just the usual, really. You know, like yeah, thanks for having me on again, and you know, good chat about the Bad Batch, and a good laugh again. You know, some good humor to remember, and yeah.
Well, no worries in having you on again, and thank you for hopping on. So I guess we'll end that one there then. So thank you all so much for watching, and take care. Have a good one. See ya. Laters.
See ya. Oh, goodness me.
Oh, we're just before the podcast ends, I'm just going to leave this image here. All right, see you everyone. Peace out.